All right, check it out, y'all. So one thing I noticed with SAT math for sure is that SAT math often gives you more information than you need, sometimes way more information than you need, because they want to see or test your ability to extract the important information out of that problem and just take what you need from what they give you to solve it. Okay. Very, very common with the SAT in particular. For example, check out this problem which I adapted from a problem I recently did that we recently solved in my weekly SAT, ACT math practice class. So this says in the circle to the right, D is the center of the circle. Arc EF is 1/3 of the circumference of the circle. What is X? Okay, so let's look at this and see what it's saying to us. So D is the center of the circle. What does that mean? Well, basically, when we say that D is the center of the circle, what it implies is because you have this line that goes from D to E on the edge, this line from D to F on the edge, that means that each of these is a radius. So this is a radius and this is a radius. Now, I put R just so I kind of remember, but it's going to turn out that what the radius is doesn't necessarily matter here. So keep that in mind. So what else does it mean? So if this is a radius and this is a radius, then that means that this is the center of the circle. This angle right here represents a portion of the entire angle measure of a circle, which, if you recall, the angle measure of a circle, the total is 360 degrees. Now, they also tell us that arc EF, so this is part of the circumference. An arc is essentially almost kind of like a type of, it's like a piece of the perimeter of the circle. Circumference is like the perimeter of a circle, and an arc is like a piece of that perimeter. Arc EF is 1/3 of the circumference of the circle. Now, keep in mind also that this angle is associated with this particular arc. The arc is related to the angle measure of the circle, like from the center of the circle there. So arc EF is related to angle X, okay? Because it's created by it's the portion of the circumference that is directly opposite that particular angle measure for the circle, that part of the circle. So what is X? So they tell us that EF is 1/3 of the circumference. So yes, the temptation, and it was a temptation for me too. The temptation is to say, oh, okay, well, circumference is 2 pi r, so I need to find the circumference in some kind of way. It's going to help me find the angle measure. But no, you don't really need to do anything like that. What you need to understand is this is kind of like a proportion type of situation. Basically, 1/3 of the circumference is represented by that arc there, arc EF. Also understand, because this angle is associated with that arc, you should also understand that this angle represents 1/3 of the total angle measure of the circle too. Okay. So those are directly related, that arc and that angle. So if 1/3 of circumference is represented by that arc, then 1/3 of the total angle measure is being represented by that angle X because it's directly opposite that arc. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to use that 1/3. We're going to say this and just kind of think about it. We're just going to write this out in math language. So X, that angle X, is equal to 1/3 of the total angle measure. And we know the total angle measure is 360. It's a bad looking zero there. I didn't need to put that degree thing there. So now we're just doing the basic math. So 1/3 of 360 is just 120. It's your final answer. So you see, if you get caught up on the circumference part, you'll miss the fact that circumference is related to the angle measure. I mean, what I mean to say is that arc is related to the angle measure of the angle that's directly opposite that arc. Okay. And then you go down a rabbit hole of Okay, well, I need to find the radius. You don't need to do all that. Just extract the important information. This is very common with the SAT. I don't see this so much with the ACT, but with SAT math, this is very important. If you need help with SAT or ACT math for that matter, make sure you join one of our weekly virtual classes on patreon.com/math swap tutoring. And we practice this stuff every week so that you actually get used to seeing this type of thing and you don't get tripped up with it, okay? All right, so hopefully this was helpful, and I hope to see you in my class soon.